Panic. Absolute chaos. A sea of red just washed over the entire crypto market. But in the middle of all this madness, the loudest signals, well, they aren't coming from the falling prices. They're coming from the quiet, calculated moves being made in the background. So let's cut through the noise and figure out what is really going on.
First up, let's just take a moment to appreciate the sheer scale of this sell-off. I mean, the damage was fast, it was deep, and it was everywhere. $280 billion. That's how much value just poof, vanished from the crypto market in a single day. To put that into perspective for you, that's more than the entire economic output of some countries. Just gone.
And trust me, nobody was spared. The big dogs all took a serious hit. Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Solana, you name it, it was deep in the red. This wasn't some targeted attack on a single project. This was a market-wide capitulation. That kind of sell-off tells you the panic was driven by something bigger, some macro fear.
So what's fueling this fire? It really boils down to three things. First, you've got this massive retreat from institutions. We saw over $1.2 billion pulled from crypto ETFs in just 1 week. Second, pure raw fear. The fear and greed index just cratered to 8. That's its lowest point in 6 months. And third, a brutal cascade of forced liquidations, wiping out almost $600 million in long positions. Ethereum alone saw $148 million of that liquidated in a single candle. Ouch.
Okay, so while almost everyone was mashing that sell button, one nation, just one, saw this as a buying opportunity. A truly contrarian move that tells a completely different story.
It's a classic move, right? Be greedy when others are fearful. But to see it play out on a national scale, while everyone was sprinting for the exits, one country was just calmly walking right in.
Get this, El Salvador just scooped up another 1,098 Bitcoin. That's worth nearly $100 million, and they bought it right in the middle of this downturn. They're now sitting on over 7,400 Bitcoin total. That's what you call conviction.
And look, this isn't some wild gamble. It's a strategy. El Salvador is literally executing the world's only national dollar-cost averaging plan. When blood is in the streets, they buy. It's a calculated, long-term belief in the asset that is completely separate from any short-term fear. And here's the thing. El Salvador isn't the only one playing the long game. The biggest players in tech and finance, they're making moves that completely ignore the day-to-day price swings.
This is the real battle happening right now. It's short-term panic versus long-term vision. Forget the charts for a second, and let's look at two huge examples of that long-term vision in action.
Over at DevCon, Ethereum's founder, Vitalik Buterin, just dropped a bombshell called Kohaku. Basically, it's a new privacy framework for Ethereum that uses some seriously next-level tech. Just imagine sending a transaction where nobody can see how much you sent or even what your wallet address is. This is like a 100x upgrade for privacy on Ethereum. It's a game changer. Meanwhile, in the old world of traditional finance, you've got giants like UBS and Ant International partnering up to tokenize bank deposits. They're building a massive bridge for literally trillions of dollars in real-world assets to flow onto the blockchain. We're talking instant 24/7 cross-border payments. This is the plumbing that brings the real institutional money into crypto.
So you've got nations buying the dip and giants building the future. With all these massive fundamental developments happening, what are the charts whispering about a potential recovery, especially for altcoins? Well, there are a few promising signs, actually. The Total 3 chart, which tracks all the altcoins, looks like it's forming a higher low, and that's a bullish signal. But even more important, the ETH/BTC pair is pushing up against a 2-year resistance level. Now, if it breaks through that, a lot of analysts believe we could see a massive alt-season kickoff this December.
So that brings us to the big question. We've seen the chaos, we've seen the calculated moves from the contrarians and the builders. So where does the market actually go from here?
For Bitcoin, all eyes are on one place, the $86,000 to $88,000 range. Analysts see this as a massively important support level. If it holds, we could see a nice bounce. But if it breaks, well, the pain might not be over just yet.
So now it's your turn. After everything we've covered, what do you think is Bitcoin's real bottom? Is it 88K, 82K, or do we go even lower? Drop your best guess in the comments right now. I'll pin the one that gets closest in the next 24 hours. Let's see who gets it right.